Hi guys, welcome. We're super glad to have you here to today's webinar, Future Proof Your Auto Repair Shop, How to Cater to Gen Y and Gen Z. We do have an action-packed discussion that will help you move your shop into the future. But before I introduce our speaker today, I do want to start off with a few normal housekeeping. I would like to, so we are recording this session. We would love to hear from you. We do take your feedback seriously. So with that, after the webinar, you will get a link that pops up. You will also get it on a follow-up email with the recording to this session. By doing so, we will do a $20 Amazon gift card immediately following. We do welcome questions. There's a chat function and a Q&A. Either work just fine. Submit those to myself or Jeremy, and we will kind of weave them throughout. If not, we'll come back to you guys at the end. So with that, I'd like to quickly introduce our speaker, Jeremy O'Neill. Jeremy is a shop owner, sales coach, father, and husband. Being a shop owner allows him to test the training that he creates in the real world shops and situations that you may have all also encountered. He grew up in the auto repair industry, which has helped him create good work ethic and forged his love for helping the motor public take care of their automobiles. His purpose, just share the last little thing, is to help shop owners and service advisors cut through the BS and create real results in their business and life. Jeremy will also be at Vision. So if any of you guys will be at Vision coming up in March, make sure to stop by and see him. He'll be a regular attendee attending the sessions with you guys. So Jeremy, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Amber. It's nice to be here. And although I have my big monitor up, it's really scary to see my face that large on my screen. So it's one of those things. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. Excellent. All right, are we ready? So that's the pass off to me. Thank you so much.
The baton is passed.
All right, here we go. Okay, so we're talking about future-proofing your business, catering to the younger generation. And it's interesting, I am in the old man group now. I'm 49 officially. I'll be 50 coming up in November. And I just remember, starting out in this industry at 8 years old, washing headlights at my dad's gas station. And just that's really where the torch for me got lit with helping people with their cars. And it's really interesting when we look at where this market is at. Technology is changing, and 4 or 5 years ago we were doing a lot of talking about electrification of the power plant with the demise of the internal combustion engine and how gasoline is going by the wayside. And here we are in 2022, and we're still dealing with gasoline engines. And I still think we have just an amazing market in front of us. And when you look at the price of new cars and how customers are keeping their cars longer, it's the perfect storm for automotive repair shops. Now, the challenge I have for shop owners and advisors is this. Markets like this are literally generational markets. Like, we won't see this type of a market again after it's over. When I say after it's over, there's a major shift coming where a lot of your customers are going to get out of their vehicle and get into a new vehicle. And it could be a vehicle that you don't service. If, a number of your customers who are driving diesel trucks decide to go and buy the Ford all-electric vehicle or an all-electric Silverado, and your shop doesn't have the capacity to fix that vehicle, you just lost a customer. You're going to start losing market share. So all of this is coming. But right now, we're busier than ever. We could open up our shop 24/7 and literally still have a waiting list about a week or 2 weeks out. So the demand is great. Now, how do you capitalize on this market? I'm not just talking dollars and cents. I want to be really clear about this. The purpose that I fulfill every single day is to help my clients protect their investment in their vehicle and keep it running in the most affordable way. I never put money first. We put the customer's goals first, and we match our goals to their goals and help deliver a product that they want. So there's really no sales that go on in our shop, although yes, we have sales goals and car count goals and all that. But what it's all about is this, that picture you see on the screen. It's about helping people who are traveling. These two wonderful women, this is about 4 years ago at our shop, and this is our old location. We've since moved into a newer location. But they were trying to get to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, and their car broke down at 4:30 on a Friday. And I remember talking to Barbara, and she was literally in tears on the phone because there wasn't a single automotive repair shop that she had called that was willing to help her on a Friday afternoon. Everybody kept telling her, we're too busy. If you want to bring the car in and drop it off, we can help you. But you know what? I operate a little bit differently. When it's time to work, it's game time and it's time to perform. So I said, Barbara, I can't make any promises to you, but what I will promise you is this. Give me your vehicle, and within 5 minutes of it being here, I will at least look under the hood and see if it's something really easy. And if it's something we can fix, we'll get you back on the road. And if not, we still have plenty of time to get you into a rental vehicle and get you on your way safely. So lo and behold, it was super easy that day. Her spark plug had actually come loose and popped out of cylinder 4. We were able to reinstall the spark plug and get her back on the road, and she safely arrived on her trip and took it back to her home mechanic and had a long-term fix done on it. But the whole thing is this, it's operating out of the normal and doing things that are extraordinary for customers and making that emotional connection with them and being able to say yes. So my challenge is at what level do you want to play? What level do you want your shop to be at? And here's the challenge. The old guys like me, we're a little bit more loyal. We cater to businesses and we have our relationships built. So it's a little easier to deal with your old clients. You know, your older clients are your key throwers. They're going to toss you the keys and say, hey, Jeremy, just fix my truck. I don't care what it costs. I'll be back Friday to pick it up. We would love every customer to be that customer, but I got a challenge for you. This new generation, they are tough. They're savvy. They know where to get parts from, which they've commoditized the parts part of our business. And they know a lot more about their car than sometimes we do. So they're asking us questions about doing a repair on the vehicle. And you're just looking at the phone going, holy cow, where did you come up with this information? Because our technicians didn't even know that. So not only are newer consumers, this younger generation, really savvy, they are demanding as hell. And forgive my language there, but it's true. They don't care if it's a 15-hour job. They want it done in an hour. And if you can't deliver it to me, I'm going to find somebody who can. So this new generation is very demanding. And here's what I've noticed. They're coming into their own. They are replacing the baby boomer generation, the Gen Xers like myself, and they have disposable income. They know how to make money. They love their vehicles, and they are very demanding. So that's what we're going to talk about today is how do we shift our business from picking up the phone and calling a customer, making a sales presentation, to delivering a presentation in the way and the manner that today's consumers want. I remember about 3 years ago, Amber, it was really crazy. I had a really young gal at the counter. She wouldn't make eye contact with me. She wouldn't even talk to me. I finally broke through her. I sent her a text, and I literally wrote her up via text at the counter when she's 2 feet in front of me. And that was really kind of when the gears started to shift and the light bulb went on. I said, hey, you know what? The game has changed. So when we look at the game changing, you've got to understand this. Industries are being decimated by technology. I saw a commercial today that Amazon is launching their new grocery store, and it's called, I don't know, it's called Shop Fresh or whatever it's called, but there's no cashier. Like, you do it yourself and you walk out. So look at Amazon's, full circle to get to this point. Why are they going back to brick and mortar and putting a grocery store up and making that capital investment in real estate and retail space? Because they know that there is a need for it, but they didn't set out with a goal to do that. I think that's just more of a fringe business for them to add a service to their clientele that they've discovered that they wanted. I know in our household, over 70% of our disposable income has now shifted to Amazon, where the products automatically show up and we don't even go out and shop anymore. And my wife hates going to the grocery store. I like to shop, so she sends me out to the store. But that's how things have shifted. So with automotive repair, here's the biggest challenge that we have. The old school way of writing the customer up, having them sign a paper invoice, and then calling them 5 or 6 hours later and verbally going through a 20-minute dissertation on all of the recommendations that you have and that your technician found. Psychologically, that's not in alignment with what today's consumers want. So what I'm going to share with you is a technique and a skill set that you can use. And it doesn't matter what shop management program that you use. We are going to feature AutoLeap today and show you their technology on the back end and show you how easy it is to deliver a product that your customer wants. But you can do this literally with everything, and it's shifting your mindset up here. It's delivering the information that the customer wants and making them want to buy what you're offering versus making them feel like they're being sold. And that's one of the biggest things that we're going to help you with today. So understand, the game has changed. The way that we're going to get customers to approve repairs has changed. The way that we're going to inspect cars has definitely changed. And we're going to talk about that today. So not only is it consumers are changing, but the vehicle technology is changing as well. I cannot wait for the day where the car self-diagnoses itself. It sends a text to my shop. It actually the car went ahead and ordered the part from my preferred vendor, and everything is scheduled seamlessly for it to arrive right at the same time, but the car is driving the sale, and the car tells the customer, look, I'm getting these repairs done, and if you don't approve the repair, I'm not moving. That's a great way to get customers to buy automotive repair and maintenance. And that day is not that far away. And someday we're going to have printers in the trunk where the car prints its own part, and then a little robot jumps out of the back and puts the part on the car. It's going to be a fascinating world then. We'll just be maintaining the robots of the world.
I'll come service my car with you when that happens, Jeremy.
Absolutely. I can't wait for that to happen. So here's another challenge that we have. We can't solve our problems with the same thinking we use that created them. Now, here's the challenge that we all face, and I face this daily, is getting stuck in our rut and getting stuck in our mindset. And because we're so busy right now, we may not think that we have a problem, but there is a large problem looming. And it's the shift that's coming. We already know about the technician shortage. I mean, that's, old news. But we've got to think differently. And that's really what I encourage you to do today. So let's look at this. Let's look at the anatomy of a five-star experience. Now, what I'm going to talk about is how I've built my shop. Now, I purchased Freedom Auto Repair in 2016. We took over operations the first day of 2017. I bought the worst shop in the United States. I'm telling you, it was horrible. I remember on New Year's Eve of that year, being in there with just coveralls on, rubber gloves, and a pressure washer, trying to get the grease off the floor so I could open up business on Monday. And the shop, it was literally going out of business. It did $143,000 in revenue the entire year of 2016. My goal with taking that over was to prove my concept, to create content for our training program, and to stay home a little bit more, not have to travel as much, and to turn that shop into $1 million a year producer literally overnight. So the goal was to get to 85,000 in sales in 1 month during the first year. We did that. We were able to do it in November of 2017. And I'm happy to report that now we're steadily over 1.2 million. So we've literally experienced an 8 times growth over a 5-year period. And I do it with a very small marketing budget. My marketing budget is under $500 a month. I do not send any postcards out. I do not send any mail out. We literally don't even do any follow-up phone calls. What we're focused on is this right here. It is the 5-star experience. And how we've been able to grow this is through organic reviews that our customers share their experience with the world. It's not a robot that goes out and harvests reviews for us. We don't have thousands of reviews, but what we have are hundreds of bona fide paragraph stories of customers sharing what they experienced with our automotive repair shop and how we were able to help them. And those organic reviews are golden. They will save you money in marketing. So if you're spending $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month on mailers, and I'm not against the direct mail industry. I don't want to get any letters from attorneys. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying that as a shop owner, I've never liked postcards. I don't like dragging in lost leader vehicles because I found a better way. I found a referral-based business. When customers have a problem with their car, they go right to their phone and they're going to search auto repair near me. And if you have good reviews and you're at the top, you're going to get a broken car. I'd much rather deal with a car on a tow truck than a $29 oil change. The upside is just much better. And then when you deliver this experience, it is just a snowball that rolls downhill and it creates so much momentum. So let's talk about the anatomy of a 5-star experience. What does a consumer want in an automotive repair experience? Well, there's a couple things that they want. Number one is this. They want a friendly, helpful, and an accommodating staff. So I'm going to challenge you. I want you to listen to how you answer the telephone. When you have a lead that calls into your shop and says, hey, can I get a price on a water pump? If your response is, I'm sorry, we don't get pricing over the phone, shut your shop and just get out of the business, because that's not what today's consumers want. The customer didn't ask you, I need you to help me diagnose my coolant leak. They said, how much would your shop charge me if I needed a water pump? And today's consumers, they want what they want when they want it. And they want to know what your pricing is. They want transparency with pricing. They want to know up front what you're going to charge me to do the service that I think I need. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, as a consumer, I don't care, because I want a price on a water pump. And then I'm going to make my decision because of this. In today's society, time is greater than money. So consumers value their time so much more than they value their dollar. And it's not worth 30 minutes of my life to drive my car across town, drop it off at your shop, let you hold it hostage for a full day, only to quote me a bunch of recommendations and a laundry list of things that I have no interest in, when all I want to do is get a water pump put on my car and get back on the road. So I'm not going to invest that 30 minutes to come to your shop if you're not going to be transparent and upfront with your pricing. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. So you have to have a friendly, helpful, and an accommodating staff. Now, we have a phone script that we teach our advisors, and it's very easy. The first response has to be positive. Whatever a customer asks you for, your response needs to be accommodating. So, hey, Jeremy, can I get a price on a water pump for my truck? Yes, I'll be happy to help you with that. What kind of vehicle are we working with today? That little response right there versus a negative response puts the customer's mind at ease and lets them know that they're dealing with somebody that cares and is going to get them the information that they want. And then we have a few other steps that they get the customer focused off a price, gets them enrolled in a root cause analysis, and they bring us the vehicle. So number one is this: you have to have a friendly, helpful, and an accommodating staff. Number two is this: don't try to sell me unnecessary items. Consumers don't want to buy things that they don't need. And it's really, when you look at the market, some cars need $4,000, $5,000, and $6,000 worth of repairs. But if the car has been neglected and it's got a ticking time bomb, maybe with the transmission problem, the customer might spend $3,000 on certain repairs, and then in 6 months that transmission blows up and now it's an $8,000 repair. That customer feels like they just wasted $3,000 6 months before. So we have to be careful with that, because there's financial consequences to properly maintaining and repairing cars today. So I'm going to show you a little tool that we use. It's called the vehicle timeline. We do it at initial write-up, where we get on the same page and get in alignment with what the customer wants out of their transaction with us. And that's how we move into relationships. So don't try to sell me unnecessary items. The next one is this: timely updates. If you have a lot of phone calls coming into your shop in the afternoon where customers are asking about the status of their car, we need to eliminate those. As a shop owner, I get so angry when customers call for an update, because we have systems in place to update the customer every step of the transaction when their car moves through the process. And I'll show you that system that we use. It is wonderful, and you can do it right at your shop right now. Next, transparent repair process. We want to take the veil off of auto repair. We want to show the customer our diagnostic and our repair process. We want to make the invisible visible and take the mystery out of what they're spending their money on. So we'll show you how to do that through your DVI. Now, we're packing a lot in today, Amber. We better get moving.
Gotta start talking faster. Those Gen Ys and Zs, their time is valuable.
Yep, I talk too fast anyway, so I'm trying to slow my energy down just a little bit, but we'll be fine. The next one is upfront pricing and an accurate invoice. So one of the things that I'm working on with my shop is I literally want the phone to stop ringing, and I want all digital leads, and I want everything formatted where the customer fills out the form, they've got their information, and everything's point and click, and the estimate's pre-built. So when the customer shows up, it's automated, and I've removed the human capital out of it just because it's a faster, streamlined process. Now, I'm not trying to get rid of all service advisors. I mean, that's the focus of Advisor Fix, is training service advisors. But I believe that technology can do just an amazing job for us at that and eliminate the human error of it. But consumers today want upfront pricing and an accurate invoice. And I'll show you that on the back end once we go through our approvals. Next, complete the job on time. So on this one, stop lying to your customers. So if Amber's expecting her car, if you promised it Thursday at 5 o'clock and it's 3 o'clock and she calls and says, hey, is my car going to be done? Well, two things have happened. Number one, you failed to update her in time because at 3 o'clock it's too late. And then what Amber doesn't want to hear is, oh my gosh, Amber, I'm so sorry. We had a part that was wrong. It was boxed wrong. We have to get another one. We're going to need your car to tomorrow. That is just the kiss of death, and nothing takes you out of a 5-star experience faster than that. So here's the challenge. As an advisor, our energy is focused on creating sales and creating car count. So we're focused on the front end of the funnel. We're loading the funnel. We're loading production. And salespeople are salespeople. They will lie to people to make a sale. So if a customer says, hey, can you have that done tomorrow at 5? And you know there's not a snowball's chance in hell that that car is going to get done at 5. But you know if you tell the customer no, they're going to pull the car. Most advisors will say yes, and they'll cram it through the shop and try to find some way to get it through. Just be honest with your customers. It's better to ask for more time up front and be honest with them about the completion time, especially right now. I have heard horror stories of shops having cars for 6 months and they're still not fixed. And I just can imagine as a consumer being without my car for 6 months. That would drive me nuts. So we've got to have a streamlined system and complete the job on time. And then the last one is you have to fix it right the first time. If you're going to be in the auto repair business, get technical training, make sure your techs are the absolute best of the best, and commit to fixing it right the first time. There is not a but here. It's all about doing the job right the first time. And we're not perfect. I mean, we've had our challenges at Freedom Auto Repair. And I remember one time I sent a thank you card to a customer. She returned it back to me and she said, it took you 3 times. And I just that broke my heart. How my motto is we fix it right the first time. When we have it on our wall in our service office, and for a customer to say this is the 3rd time, it just really, it hurt, but it was a good hurt because that pain, developed a scar that was stronger than before. And you've got it, your whole team has to buy into this. So that's the anatomy of a 5-star experience. Those are the things we're gonna go through. Now, we're gonna blend technology through each one of these steps. So as we go further in here, I've got examples for you to show you how to do this. So friendly, helpful, and an accommodating staff. The one thing that it comes down to is this: it's all about likability. 100% of the people on the planet have met somebody that they did not like. Now, if you don't like somebody, your chances of doing business with them are slim to none, especially in today's society. There are so many more options that consumers have, and it's all about your likability. So if your customer doesn't like you, you're not going to build trust, and you're going to hurt the relationship. So you have to develop likability. Well, how do you do that? That's a great question. Here's how you develop likability as an advisor. Number one, get focused on serving. I talk about having a servant's heart. When you show up at the service counter, it's all about serving your client. It's not about sales. Put your focus off of your sales agenda and get in alignment with what your customer wants. There is so much money in this business that the money will follow if you take care of your customer first and get in alignment with their agenda. Number 3 is this: when working the counter, be in a service mindset, not an administrative mind task. So paperwork, purchase orders, all those things. You've got to remember when you're at the counter, eye contact really matters. And if I'm working on a task and I'm doing paper and a customer walks in and they stand there for 2 minutes and I don't acknowledge them, that's a no-no. That's not going to give that customer a good feeling. So you've got to be in a service mindset and do your admin stuff later. I either do it in the morning before the shop opens, or I do it in the evening after hours, or I block off an hour, shut my door, and get off the counter and do my administrative stuff at that time. And then 4, you have to improve your empathy skills. And empathy is simply a feeling that customers are going to feel that you genuinely care about them and that you have their best interest at mind, or at heart. There we go. Now, I love this slide. This is one of my favorite slides. I love
my favorite video, my movie. I love this movie. It's my favorite slide too.
Absolutely. So number 2 is don't try to sell me unnecessary items. If we went to a shopping center and asked 100 people, hey, have you ever had a negative automotive repair experience? I guarantee you 99 of them are going to say yes. I remember this one time, it was horrible. And it's all going to be boiled around this shop trying to sell the customer something that the customer perceived they didn't need. And here's the sad part. We as an industry have conditioned our customers to say no to the big R, and that R is the word recommendations. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is this, and it's a hard one to do. Get the word recommend or recommendation out of your vocabulary. And here's why. That word is a very lukewarm word. There's no impact with it. So what I'm going to have you replace it with is the word concern. So check this out. There's a mental game that happens with the words that you choose. If I go to my cardiologist and I had some tests done, I was on the treadmill yesterday, and I go to his office and he looks at my report and he goes, "Oh, Mr. O'Neill, yeah, you're 49 now. I see you're somewhat active, a little bit of stress. Okay, your labs were a little bit high, but here's what I recommend. Stop eating fast food for lunch, eat a salad here and there, and then I recommend that you just kick up your cardio an extra 2 times per week, and you should be all right." I am going to leave that office. I'm going to go to In-N-Out and get a double fries and a shake because I'm starving and it tastes so good. I don't care what the doctor said because it didn't have any impact. Now, I go to a different doctor and he says, "Mr. O'Neill, have a seat. Reviewing your labs, and I have a couple concerns that we need to go over." And right there, the difference in the word that he chose, recommend versus concern, is going to stop me. And now, instead of going to In-N-Out and having a cheeseburger, I'll probably go to Chop Stop and have a salad for lunch because I want to be healthier, because the doctor's now concerned about my health and it's not a recommendation. And it's no different with cars. When your technicians label something as red on the inspection, you better have a deep conviction that that item needs to be done today. And it's not something that the customer says, "Hey, Jeremy, can we just put that off? Can we defer that for a little bit?" Yeah, you can. I mean, cars, honestly, they can drive on, steel belts. It's going to spark, but I mean, it could pop here in just a little bit. Oil leaks don't cause cars to stall. So all these things with recommendations, you've got to have a conviction that there's a concern behind the customer not doing it. And I'll show you the tool that helps you bring that in. So we're going to move out of the world of recommending stuff, and we're going to create a customized maintenance and repair plan tailor fit for the customer and their car. And we're going to help them say yes. And I'll show you exactly how we do that.
I had a thought really quickly on that last slide. What do you think about people or advisors or techs, whomever's speaking to the customer, saying like, if it was my car, and I'm sure you get that, like, if it was your car, what would you do? Like, how do you handle those things when you're conveying something that's of a concern?
I think as long as the advisor's mindset and their heart is in the right place, and I use that phrase a lot, but it comes after, it's about level 3 during the presentation. So once you go over what the car needs and the customer gives you an objection, and then they're asking you, well, what really needs to be done? And then you go through the timeline again, and you are going to keep the car for another 3 years. And then they're like, well, I've got a little bit of money I can play with, but I don't know if I can do $8,000 today. That's typically where I'll go, well, if it was my vehicle, here's kind of the plan I would go after. Is it okay if I share it with you?
Yeah.
And now here's the thing though. My car's not the most, mechanics cars are not the most maintained vehicles on the planet. I've had some customers say, "Jeremy, I've seen your car. I don't want to maintain my car like yours. I want it fixed right, fix everything so it can work."
That's like when I was just walking in my neighborhood and somebody has like a roofing sign and their roof was shit. And I'm like, I hope they don't. I mean, they should at least have a good roof on their house, right? I mean, come on, Jeremy. Keep your car nice. Yeah. I don't know. I have a mom car, so I can't talk much. Mine's crap.
So that's fine to use, and it's all about you being in alignment, being stepping into that role as being the trusted advisor for your customer. And once you get the timeline information from the customer, and now you're creating that customized plan, you've got a plan of attack for them. And here, Amber, I think the biggest challenge is this: so many times we're too short-sighted in this business. We're worried about the sale today, but we don't necessarily think about this customer's in my town. I'm going to be servicing this car for 2 years. And if I don't do the repairs right in 2 years, if they experience 2 or 3 breakdowns, we're going to lose a lot of trust because the customer's going to lose confidence in your ability to keep their car from breaking down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to have that long-term mindset with the customer.
Well, and that's where empathy comes in, right? you have to be empathetic and remember why you're getting into this business, to help people, right? And
Yeah, absolutely. So here's where it starts. It all starts at the initial write-up. It actually starts before that. It starts with the expectations your clients have when they make an appointment. And I'm not going to go into that because there's a whole, 15-minute dissertation I have on online appointments and, the customer wanting to book this stuff now, but that's not the purpose of today's call. But at initial write-up, here's what you have to do. You've got to set clear expectations and gain your client's permission. So in most shop management systems, you can have 1,000 points that the technician inspects on a car. And I've never understood this. I've never understood shops that have their technician spend an hour inspecting a car when a customer doesn't want that inspection done. And I'm going to be very careful because I know there's some shop owners just threw their coffee cup at their screen. Why would you invest an hour of your technician's time when a customer's not even enrolled in wanting to know the information that they're going to find? So I took a different approach. I want permission to do the inspection. So for instance, every car that comes into our shop, we do our courtesy inspection because we want to make sure your car's in good shape. Is it okay if we do the courtesy inspection? Yes, great. If the customer says no, I'd rather deal with that objection right there before the car goes in the shop and ask them questions. I am just curious. I've literally only had maybe 2 customers a year that say no to the inspection. Would you mind sharing with me why you don't want us to do the inspection? And then you'll hear things like, oh, well, every time I go into a shop, they give me a laundry list of things that need to be done. And I'm just tired of dealing with that. And then in the back of my head, I say, well, if you weren't such a cheapskate, can you prove some of the repairs that we were recommending? You might not get that laundry list every time. Start whittling it down. But I don't actually say that to customers. But you've got to have their permission. So I just want permission to inspect their car. I remember, early in my career, I did a brake inspection on a car and the guy said, why did you take my wheels off? I didn't give you permission to look at my brakes. And that stuck with me. So permission is very important. So how we do this at the write-up, I recommend performing an initial vehicle walkaround on every first-time customer and on repeat customers that haven't been to your shop in 6 months. So we don't do it every time, but you want to get to that 80 or 90% level. Definitely first-time customers, 100%. Do an initial walk around, take pictures of the car. We have the technology. What it shows the customer by doing a walk around is just that you care about them, okay? And you care about their car. You care enough to take 30 seconds or a minute out of your day to go out and meet their car, pat it on the left front fender, treat it like, a human being, I guess. And just there's things on the car that you're going to see. It's not about selling at this point. So I'm not going to start selling alignments or brakes or adding stuff onto the ticket. I just want to see the car. I want to get the personal clues and connect more with the customer. So we're going to do an initial walk around on the cars. And then here's what we're going to do. We are going to educate and inform the customer on the repair process of the client's initial concern. So this is really, really, really important. If you can tie all of the recommendations, and I know I told you to not use that word, but I'm going to use the word now because there's impact. All of the recommendations that your technician finds on that ticket, if you can tie it to the client's concern, I guarantee you're going to have a 90% closing ratio on those because the client was concerned about those items. Everything that falls outside of the client concern is a recommendation, and you're going to have to deal with a reflex no, and your closing rate is going to be down about 30 or 40%. It's a huge drop simply because of the mindset that you put the customer in. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get on board with their agenda. Let me show you how we do that. We're going to talk to them about how we're going to give them the DVI or the health check reporting. I don't want them to be blindsided by any information I give them. I want them to be prepared for every text message, every phone call, or any email that we send. They need to know the information that's coming. So I'm going to disclose that up front. Next is estimate for repairs. Dollars and cents are always talked about up front. There's no surprises. Time targets. When are you going to have information? Now be careful of this one because if you promise a customer you're going to have an answer at noon and you miss that time target, that transaction falls out of the 5-star service experience. So that can be a double-edged sword. So be very, very careful of that one. Delivery method of information. So do you want an in-person presentation? Do you want to come back down to the shop and see your car with the technician? Do you want a phone call? Do you want a text or do you want an email? Which method of communication do you prefer today? And then there it is, client preferred method of contact. And then so many times if we're doing a lot of repairs, the car can fall out of factory scheduled maintenance, but don't forget to review the factory scheduled maintenance and the service history as well. And there's the service history right there. And most of our systems have Carfax right tied into it, so you can see the history, which is just a huge bonus. I can't tell you how impactful that is to know what's been done on the car. Okay, this is one of the most important pieces I could give you today. It's the vehicle timeline. So what you're looking at is the graphic on the background here. It's the timeline. So there's 3 questions that you want to ask every customer, especially first-time customers, at the initial write-up, not at the moment of sale, but during the write-up process. Number 1, how long have you owned the car? That's the green light over here. That's the start button. How long do you plan on keeping it? There's the trash can. That's the delete button over there on the other side of the screen. Now, your customer is somewhere on this timeline. And Amber, it blew my mind. I never understood why some customers would wait till the last 10% of their timeline to do $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work, and then they get rid of the car 6 months later. That never made sense to me. So what I started looking at is, look, let's do struts and shocks and brakes and suspension work early. Let's do it more towards the middle of the timeline, because I want the customer to get maximum ROI, return on investment. And when the customer can see where they're at on their timeline, now it makes sense for them to do everything on the list, okay? And do things at the right time based on their goals for the car. This is huge. Customers don't necessarily feel their struts wearing out, but a car with 140,000 miles on it, the struts are beyond their useful life. The duty cycle of strut is just, it's worn out. It's like an old pair of shoes. But the challenge is customers will never feel the benefit of the new shoes till they put them on. And they're, man, my old shoes were worn out. I didn't realize it. It's the same thing with struts, but it's a $1,500 to $2,000 repair. That's a hard sale today. But if the customer is going to keep the car to 250,000 miles and they're at 150, it makes sense for them to do it now so they can get the benefit of it. It enhances resale value and it helps them protect their car. So that's the importance of the vehicle timeline. This is amazing. It works very, very well. And if you are on this call and you want a customized timeline with your logo on it, all you've got to do is send me an email requesting the timeline with your logo. I'll put your logo on this and email it back to you. Only if you've been on this call. That's it. I won't do it for everybody. So that's my little gift to everybody today. I'll get that out to you guys. And you'll have my email at the end of the last slide. So that's your initial write-up. And that's where you set the stage for everything. Now, you're going to talk about the inspections that are going to be done. You're going to have a game plan for what the customer wants to get out of this car, what they use it for. Like I have an 05 Suburban with 280,000 miles on it. I'm only going to keep it about 2 or 3 more years, but I've got 3 really big road trips with our travel trailer this summer with the kids. So if it needs $10,000 worth of work, I'm going to do it because I don't want to get stuck on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. And that's important information to get at write-up versus during the presentation. Okay, and then your goal is to match your client's style and preferred method of communication and deliver all of this information in this rapport matching manner. If you're in a habit of just calling customers and you get a lot of voicemails, I guarantee you're not connecting with your customer here. Customers today, I don't even check my voicemail. It's full. Don't call me because I won't get it and I won't return it. If you want to get a hold of me, send me a text or send me an email. And the email is about 2 days behind. I get so many emails that I lose track of stuff, and the text is first. So for me, if you want to communicate with me, and I'm an old man, you got to text me. I know it's old, but that's what happens.
I mean, I don't check my voicemails, so, and I'm not as old as you.
Right. That's funny. Okay, now timely updates. So we want to remove the guesswork. The customer should be updated on the status of their car every step throughout the transaction. Think about the Domino's pizza tracker. Why did Domino's create the pizza tracker? Because they were tired of their pizza stores getting calls of, hey, where's my pizza? Mr. Smith, you called 5 minutes ago. It's still in the oven. We'll have it out to you shortly. So they created this tool that helps customers take the guesswork out of where their pizza's at. And it's very similar with auto repair. We can do the same thing. So what you have here are some text updates. And we do a number of texts that are automated that go out. And I'm very strategic at what automated messages go out because it can have a negative effect as well. But what I want you to pay attention to is just the flow of information. Now, the reason I have the mobile screenshot on the left is any technology that you put in place, you better test it, because for the first 2 months that I was using this in 2017, I didn't realize that we were texting customers at 3 a.m. You see the timestamp right there, 3 a.m. That's not a good thing. And I'm glad one of my customers brought that up to my attention, because I had no clue I was sending text messages out at 3 a.m. But let's pretend that 3 a.m. was actually 8 a.m. And an hour later, the customer got a text that says, hey, your ASE certified tech is now inspecting your vehicle. Thank you, Freedom Auto Repair. Now the customer's been updated. The worry is out, the anxiety is out. My car's moving through your process, and I'm closer to getting the information that I want. A text message, in my opinion, is better than calling a customer with a phone call, because you just don't have enough time in your day to make that phone call. They won't get done. Now, the other thing is this, and I love technology companies, but you guys have got to understand the guys and gals behind the scenes that create these wonderful software programs, they're engineers. They don't necessarily understand the human language. So they're coding all day long, right? So when they have these templates that they build, sometimes the language that they use may not be something that I want to send to my customer. So for instance, this is a template that I went into the back end and changed the verbiage on the estimate. I'm going to show you the difference between the two, because you want to customize these things. You want to make it your own. So for instance, the results are in. We have created a customized maintenance and repair plan for your vehicle. Your inspection and estimate can be viewed via the link below. Please review the estimate. Feel free to approve this service. I'm trying to get persuasive here and give the customer permission to click buy now, or yes, I want this. Approve, approve, approve. Approve the service you feel is best for you and your vehicle. If you have any questions, please reach out to us via text or phone call. We look forward to getting your vehicle in tip-top shape. So I like emotional language. I like words that evoke emotion. I want to enroll the customer in it. So when they get that message, there's urgency behind them clicking on it, okay? So make sure you customize the stuff on the back end and make it your own. There's no right or wrong other than just, having stale language that's in there. We want exciting language. Okay, and then customize your verbiage to make it personal. So here's what I'm talking about. Thank you for booking an appointment with us. This is the template of one in AutoLeap. And Amber, I'm so sorry if everybody gets mad at me. It is what it is, but I'm just showing you what's in there. So the canned one that we have on our software is, thank you for booking an appointment with us. We have you scheduled for blah, the blah. You can find us at blah. To me, I'm like, oh, wow, big deal. Okay. Who cares about that? There's nothing exciting about that at all. Versus, hey, Jeremy, your car is so happy you chose Freedom Auto Repair. This is to confirm your 5-star service experience has been booked for the date and time. Our team is hard at work preparing for your scheduled service. If anything changes, please contact us and let us know. We are thrilled to serve you. Hey, you need help with directions? Visit here. So that's a much different, appointment confirmation. And here's what I'm doing. I'm going to show you guys just understanding the psychology of customers. The car is its own entity. And think about how customers, most people deal with negativity all day long in their life. So to use the word happy is great. You finally made your car happy rather than pissing it off, right? So, hey, your car is so happy that you chose our shop. Now I'm also setting the stage for what? Your 5-star service experience. So this is to confirm not just your service, but what type of service can they expect? I'm going to give you a 5-star service experience. Now, here's the challenge. Your team has got to be 100% on board with this, and they've got to commit to that 5-star service experience. Because if you drop the ball at all and you set the stage like this, they are going to rail you, and you're going to create more negative reviews than you will positive reviews. Okay. So that's just some ways that you can change it. Now, there's so many things that you can change, but when you automate this stuff, it's absolutely fascinating. It's great. It works like magic. So that's the template behind the scenes, how you change your template. Now let's look at the different touch points. So this is the customer experience timeline. There's 10 steps that a car goes through in our process, and we're doing great on time. I'm going to get to everything. So sit tight. The best is yet to come, because we're going to show you how to put all this together. So step 1 is the customer's got to book an appointment with us. Step 2 is vehicle intake and drop off. Once the car's in your shop and checked in, you may or may not want to send a text out. But when the car moves from step 2 to step 3, I want a text message going out to my customer to alert them that the car has begun the process. Now you can do this automatically, and it's great. Step 4 is estimating. I don't send a text out here because I don't want some customers to know it took me 4 hours to get to their estimate. Because keep in mind, if I got a text that says, hey, your estimate's getting ready to be ready, they're going to call. Guarantee it. You're going to trigger a phone call there. So be careful there. Notice step 5, I've labeled it the buying process versus a sales presentation. I want it to be a buying process for the customer. It is proven consumers spend more money when they're buying than when they're being sold. So I want to put the customer in a position of wanting what we're offering. So I do send a text message out there. Hey, your estimate is ready. We're ready for approval. Please review your estimate and inspection, and then give us a call with any questions that you have. Step 6 is parts procurement. I send another text out, and it says something like, the magic has begun. Your vehicle is now in our workflow, and will be prepared at the time that your service advisor let you know during the presentation. Then it goes into repair. We move it from parts into repair, and then we let the client know that your technician is now servicing your vehicle. Final QC, this is huge. If you don't have a final QC process, get that quality check in place and make sure that the job is done right. And then the vehicle is ready for pickup. So our message is, hey, your vehicle misses you. Come and get it. It's ready for you. And it's great. We get so many high fives from that. It's awesome. And then don't forget about the CRM on the back end, the after sale follow-up. I said earlier, Amber, that I don't make follow-up phone calls. I don't, but my system does it for me. So 24 hours after the transaction is ended, we send out a text message to our customers automatically that tells them thank you. We hope you and your car are still on cloud 9 and that you were thrilled with the results of your service. So let us know. It's as simple as that. So we can automate this stuff. And I think with today's younger generation, they value that. There's value in automating your processes and creating a process that, and let's face it, auto repair can be tough. It's a streamlined process. More cars are going to get through faster, and it's a better informed customer, which is much better. So that is the customer experience timeline. So do we have any questions so far, or am I good to keep going?
No, you're good. Keep going. We've just had some comments. Great. And we'll share after some of the people that are on are using different tools and approaches similar to what you're saying. So
if it's working, keep doing it. I just want to point out one thing on this slide here. The first one, this slide, this information is from about 2016, but it says that 85% of consumers prefer receiving a text over a phone call. I think that's 100% today. I mean, it's just how it is. But down here, it says polls predict that by 2020, 85% of interactions between brands and customers will be managed without speaking. Now, check this out. 2016, I saw the stat and I said, this is BS. This isn't going to work. Then I got stuck in an airport and all the flights were canceled. And we were stuck on the airplane on the tarmac for over an hour. And everybody's trying to call and you can't get through to customer service. So I went to Twitter and I tweeted Southwest Airlines, and I had a live agent responding back, giving us information on Twitter back, 5 or 6 years ago, which that just blew my mind. And I think, look at it now, we're in 2022. If you don't have some way to communicate with your customers without the telephone, you're missing a huge part of communication today. You should have somebody monitoring your social channels, during business hours. Customers they want to be able to get information when they want it. So this is something, I know we're small shops, some of us are larger, but it's worth doing. You can actually plug all that stuff into your phone, have it with you, and respond throughout the day. So it's the way of the world today. It's all about proactive communication. Okay, this one's real easy. 10, 12, and 3. These are just time targets throughout your day. 10 a.m., anything held overnight, you update. Noon, every car dropped off in the morning gets an update. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you begin preparation for the end of the day. Let's talk about a transparent repair process. We're going to use our DVIs and use photos to show the customer what needs to be done. So for instance, we've got valve cover gaskets leaking here. It is in red, okay? It's leaking, it's wet. You can do a better picture. You can also, make sure that you're looking at the technology and that you're taking good photos. I can do a whole class on how to take good photos. It's the way that you do the light, whether you use a flashlight, whether you use your camera. I mean, cell phones have the best, cameras today. Also with diagnostics, for the first year, we just took screenshots of the scanner. Now we have reports, PDFs, and all that we can show the customer. Yeah, but it brings trust into it as well. And if you're not using a DVI, I encourage you to, there's so many solutions like AutoLeap has this built in. It is so easy to use. Your learning curve will literally be short, and in a couple of weeks you'll be up and running on it. It's fabulous how it works. But let me share with you something. I want to be very careful here at sharing information and how you share it with your customer. Make sure that your customer knows how to navigate your tech. You've got to understand that some customers are not tech savvy. The old guys who are 49. Where's my inspection? Well, it's a 40-page document and I'm out of ink. Well, shoot, what do I do then? So, I love Randy Glassberg. He has great comments. Says, I can see you need more time to make up your mind. Here's the thing. Technology is going to take the negative impact of what needs to be done. So I'm going to step out of my slides here and I'm going to go live and I'm going to show you what the estimate and the inspection looks like on the customer side. We're going to go to my email and look at a live estimate that I sent myself this morning. And I'm going to point out a couple things real quickly. Let me just jump out of here.
Hey, Jeremy, while you're doing that, Chris Murphy on the phone, do you use your personal cell phone to text customers? So is that linked? How do you handle that?
Okay, let's see here. Let's see, I got to share my screen again. Let me go back here to, that is so weird. It lost my second screen. Okay, so personal cell phone, just be very, very, very careful with that, if you could. Nothing gets me more upset than getting a text from a customer on Sundays. Like Sundays are my days, right? And I guarantee you, they're not doing anything and they don't think anything of it. I recommend using this a different cell phone than your personal cell phone, just because you never know when that's going to come back to bite you. So let's see. Is my screen being shared?
Where I still see the slides.
The upfront pricing and an accurate invoice?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, now we should see display.
Yep.
Okay, here we are. Okay, so now we have an estimate, and this came out of the AutoLeap software. And I'm going to show you a couple things here. So I want you quickly to just look at that and ask yourself, if you're a consumer, how do you know what needs to be done? There's 5 questions every customer asks during a sales presentation. Number 1 is, does the salesperson have my best interest in mind? Okay. The 5th one is most important. He says, do I need it now? So there's a lot here. And this isn't even, this is just a quickly thrown together estimate. But how does the customer navigate this? Now, here's the challenge. The DVI isn't set up it's not forward facing, meaning I don't get the DVI first. So what do I have in front of me right now? I have to make a choice. Do I want to approve this? Yes or no? Do I want to approve this? Yes or no? Do I want to do my sparkle wires? What's this package C, B, and A? Holy cow, $8,200. This right here, if it's not delivered right, can blow your customer's mind apart and cost you the sale. So I'm gonna narrow this down for you and show you how we build a presentation that works. Now, communication is key. So Amber, if you brought me your car, the conversation at write-up is going to go like this. Amber, I'm going to show you how to navigate our digital communication. So here's an example. Once you get your estimate, you're going to get a text and an email. You're going to be able to go in and you're going to see a screen just like this. Don't worry about the numbers when you first see this. What I want you to focus on is this. You brought your car in today for your check engine light diagnosis. So I want you to click on this and I want you to navigate to your inspection. Okay, and this is what's most important is right here. What did you bring your car in for? Okay, and here is everything right there. So you're going to be able to see everything in red, yellow, and green. And if you see a little file right there, there's a picture. Just click on it and you'll be able to see the picture right there. Okay, does that help you out? Now, we have a touchscreen 30-inch monitor at our write-up counter that we go over this with the customer when they drop their car off, because this can get overwhelming for customers. And with the digital presentation, what I have found, once a customer goes red and they decline a repair, they don't come back. So they'll approve, and then decline 18 items underneath it. So here's the challenge. You've got to understand how they're going to navigate the user interface. You've got to educate them on it so they know how and they're not frustrated. But then you have to navigate through the numbers. So Amber, with your permission, here's what I'm going to do as your advisor. I'm going to have 3 choices for you today. Package A is going to be go green. You want to fix everything on your car. Now, I don't want you to panic at the numbers because sometimes the numbers can get quite large, especially if your car needs a lot of work. But I'm going to will it down into 3 things. Package A is fix everything. Package B is fix what I brought the car in for, my initial concern, plus any safety concerns. Okay, and I'll be able to help you navigate through what those are. And then package C is, look, I just want to fix what I came in for. Take care of my check engine light and fix my brakes. Does all that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, now you have 3 choices. It's a lot easier to navigate than 25 or 30 choices. So here's the challenge. Every time I look at this as a consumer, I'm going to make a yes or a no. And human beings are super patient, right? Like they could sit and, analyze things for days, right? No, they're going to get frustrated. What did I bring my car in for? Is this going to fix it? So you have to craft this as the advisor. Now, it's really easy to do. When you go into the actual service here, you can actually, let's see here. If I go to view my authorization, it's going to show me everything that's here. Now, I can actually move these around and delete certain things if I want to. I recommend the packages. So check this out. I did package A, go green is fix everything. Notice it's not a detailed estimate. There's not everything on there, okay? I'm going to kind of group that together, do my estimate maybe offline, or I build it in the ticket, but then I give the customer one price to fix everything. And the reason I'm going to lead with that is it's much easier psychologically to go from $8,200 to approve $1,500. But it's really hard to add 200 to 360 to 142 and everything else. So you got to understand the psychology of how consumers buy things today. Okay, I hope that makes sense.
And based on that, right, I'm assuming that's what you do in your shop. I mean, when you're reading the packages off to me, my instinct is package B. What percentage of people do you think, when you give them options like this, go for a different package than only their concerns, right? I mean, the way you've put it, right, is just huge, especially as a mom with 2 kids.
Right.
I want to make sure that my car is safe, ultimately. And so you sold me.
So our data last year, 56% of customers chose package B. And then it was package C or package A.
Okay.
And it works.
And
And
how much was package A, just out of curiosity?
our package A's average is over $6,000. And we live in an area people don't take care of their cars and they break them a lot. So
Yeah.
it needs a lot of work. But here's the thing. A lot of advisors are going to see $8,200 and be like, that's a lot of money. And I get it, it is. But when you look at the cost of cars today, if a car needs $8,000 worth of work in 3 years, over 36 months, that's literally less than $300 a month. It's cheaper to fix the car and do everything than it is to go buy a new car. The challenge is helping them find the money to do that. And you can see it can have a negative effect. I can get a lot of 0 tickets if I blow the customer out. So I've got to have this set up and prepare it as I go through it. So what I would do then is I would come in here and my initial estimate, I would delete all these individual line items at first. So I'm going to leave my packages built right here. Get my mouse to work. Uh-oh, stalling a little bit. There we go. I'm going to leave the stuff that's on the initial ticket. There we go. Okay, so I would delete these and then I would leave it in a much better way for the customer to see it. Now, keep in mind, if you don't educate your customer on the way information is gonna go out, then it's going to be information overload. So really easy right here. I can send it out via email and text. It's super easy. I can actually customize the information right over here. So you should have your responses like the results are in. We're going to keep your car running a long time. Put those in a Word document, copy and paste it, save yourself time. I can send the inspections here. We didn't do the 30 points, so I'm going to not send that one. I did the brake inspection and I did the level 1 testing package. And so I'm going to send that out to the customer right now. And it's as simple as that. So that is there. Let me just do this here, move this down here. Let's see. This is an email I never, ever, ever use. So I have no clue what's on it.
Like you're playing on PlayStation a good bit there.
I know, I don't do anything during the day. Okay.
I don't know. If you're like my son, I always get purchases, random purchases. I'm like, what in the heck?
Yeah. Okay. So look at how fast I clean this up. Now what's leading is package C, package B, package A. And you can see all items on the checklist that need to be completed. This includes all items in red on the inspection. Your advisor will follow up with you to review the details. Now here's what's really important. This right here is the message. Okay, you're the messenger, but if you deliver this verbally, you're the one creating the pain for the customer. So if I called Amber and I said, hey, Amber, everything on the list, if you wanted to fix it all, is going to be $8,250.90. The negative emotion response that she has immediately to spending $8,000 came from you verbally. I'm the advisor telling you you need $8,000. That can hurt the relationship. So what I want to do is I want our system and I want the information on the inspection to take the brunt of this. So now when they see this, you're going to get a phone call. Amber might be mad. She might say, hey, Jeremy, what do you mean my car needs $8,000 of work? Hey, no problem. I'm here to help you. Now you become the person that comes in and helps navigate the situation. You actually kind of become the savior. Let me help you make sense. Does everything on here really need to be done today? Well, let's talk about your timeline. Did you get a chance to go through the inspection? Nope, I didn't even see the inspection. Where's it at? Well, go back to your phone or go to your computer, go down to your level 1 testing package, and there's the inspection right there. You see the red, yellow, and green dots? Open that up, and there's your items right there. Now you can help navigate. Now you're partnering with your customer to help them make sense of all the technical side of it. It's absolutely wonderful. It works really well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, complete sense.
I only need another 5 hours, so we're gonna be here till 10 o'clock tonight. So
I'll get the wine ready.
you know. Okay, but I love how fast this is. I love the transparency on it. And you got to look, this is how consumers buy today. They approve. And I like how you guys have the maybe later on there. So what this will do, if you start selling digitally, don't buy into the fear of losing control of the sale, because you can do these faster. You can send 4 of these out and you'll be amazed. You'll get approvals without even talking to a customer. And that's what today's consumers want. They want speed of service. They want an efficient shop. They want a professional shop that fixes their car right the first time. And they want shops that use technology and show them behind the scenes. And this is what does it all right here. All right. So any questions that came up that I need to answer?
Nope, I think we've answered them all. On the personal phone, text customers, Craig had just suggested you can use apps like Text Now to text customers without being tied to your personal phone. So that's a great recommendation. Appreciate that, Craig. And
if you have software that does it, you can communicate right. Let's see, where's it at?
And we can communicate through AutoLeap as well.
Yes. Right.
Yep, and then yeah, so well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta show one more thing to him.
One more thing.
Yeah, my contact information.
Yeah, and I'll send it out to you with the and recordings. So if everybody wants to take that down, Jeremy did offer to put your logo in the step process. And we appreciate you joining. Let me just make sure if anyone has any other questions. But Jeremy, I really appreciate your time. I know it's early for you on the West Coast side. We're on the East Coast. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. And I don't have all the answers. I just am a guy that has a shop and helps customers and tries to show you what's working with today's consumers. And, you know, I always remember sitting in a class, getting a phone script, going back to the shop, and the customers would hang up on me when I said what was on the paper. And I'm like, that didn't work. So it's all about stuff that works. And, you know, the consumers, they're out there, they want your help. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share today, Amber. Thank you so much.
Hey, we had one more come through. I'm assuming on the everything in package A contains everything package C, correct? So I think what Bobby's asking is everything in package A included in C? So one is just everything that needs to be done.
Yeah, A includes B and C plus additional stuff in A. B includes C, and C is just standalone. So it's not C plus B plus. So you're not asking the customer for $15,000. They've got a $1,600 choice, a $4,200 choice, or an $8,200 choice. So like you need brakes and spark plugs and an O2 sensor. That's package C. Package B is you need the brakes, the O2 sensor, everything in C plus the additional items in B, which would be ball joints and shocks and everything else. And then package A is everything on the list.
Yeah. And then last thing, what is the process for adopting the changes if they return later for additional services?
What's the question again?
What is the process for adapting the changes if they return later for the additional services?
I'm confused. I don't know what they're asking. So if they do package C and then they come back.
Yeah, so exactly. If they do package C, but they return later for package A.
So then what you do is the best way that I do it is how I do this, and I don't have time to share this with you. But how I get to the $8,200 is I build the ticket in my repair order. So everything, but here's the challenge. There's 23 things in package A. And to get the customer to see all 23 things, they're going to start to nitpick what needs to be done, what doesn't. So for instance, and I've played with this a lot, when you sell brakes, you sell brakes as a package. You don't sell the front brakes. So I don't have 3 line items for you to choose. Front brakes need to be done, rear brakes need to be done, the brake fluid flush needs to be done. I do a brake package that has all 3 of those. When I pull the brake fluid out and it's a separate service that they can approve or decline, it gets declined over half the time. But if I put it in with the package, they approve the brakes. So I build the estimate before I get to package A. And then I would just basically click the recommend button off on it so it doesn't show up. And then I click the recommendation button on with my 3 choices. But then the estimate's already built in your system. So you've got to put a little time into it. But trust me, I've been doing my system for 5 years now, and I can do an $8,000 estimate in about under 5 to 10 minutes because you've got e-commerce with parts and all that. Once you have your system built, it works out really well.
Well, and I think too, that whole process is you are the expert and you have to tell the story. The consumer is not going to know why the heck they need a fluid. I don't know why I need brake fluid, but you are the one that knows, and putting it into those packages, like, creating that in the DBI and putting the packages together, that's the same as your brand, right? You have to create that very strong message to be able to sell that to them.
Absolutely.
So I think that's it. I think we gotta, thank you. Excellent. So again, thank you, Jeremy, for being with us. If you guys have any questions, please follow up. You have my email. If you didn't have a chance to get Jeremy's email, we will be sharing the slides and recordings, most likely tomorrow when the video is done rendering. Feel free to reach out to Jeremy. Again, if you're at Vision in March, we will see you there. Both Jeremy and I will be there. So looking forward to it. Y'all have a great day and wonderful weekend.
Thanks, Hammer.